Welcome back to Deeper Than Most, guys. I'm your host, DJ.
And I'm your host, Sam.
And it's spooky season, everyone.
Spooky season, and we're coming in hot with all of our Harloween catered episodes. Yeah, and hopefully you enjoyed the creepy sequence that you just saw if you're watching this on YouTube. Last year we had Gary the Ghost. Gary the Ghost retired.
I would say he retired. He might still make an appearance. He's a ghost, man. We don't know.
Maybe one day. But he's definitely traveled back to the spiritual realm for now. So, hopefully you guys enjoy that little segment that we just played right before this. And if you are tuned in on YouTube, what do you think about the set? Because we definitely elevated this year compared to last year. I'm pleased. I'm very pleased with the set.
It looks great.
Looks so good. So yeah, we're super excited about today's episode. We're bringing in the spooky content, and I don't know, I'm just really excited about
all I'm saying
spooky
is
season.
Start your countdown to this year's Spooktacular. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And on top of that, we have a couple of cool things happening too. So guys, we're coming back again with another giveaway this year, and we're giving away $31 this time. And the best way for you to enter this giveaway is by subscribing on YouTube and leaving a comment under your favorite episode. It doesn't matter what episode it is. We have a lot of them for you. So just pick one, comment, and you'll be in the giveaway.
Oh, and they also have to send us the proof. Send us a picture or a screenshot of it, just so we can actually add you to the giveaway, so we know that you entered. But yeah, and we are going to be announcing the giveaway winner in our Spooktacular episode, which is our Halloween episode. So stay tuned for that at the end of the month. Yeah, I'm really excited about the giveaway.
Hell yeah.
And we will be posting more things about it on our social media, so just keep an eye out. And along with that, we're also doing a Q&A for Halloween. This Q&A is going to be uploaded in the episode the week before our Spooktacular. So you guys have a couple of weeks to send us in questions. You can send us a question on Instagram, and we will be posting Q&A forums on our story, or you could just leave them in the comments on our post, or you can DM us questions, whatever you're comfortable with. And you can also leave them under YouTube videos as well. And yeah, send us all the creepy questions you have. This one is catered to Halloween, so do spooky questions.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
I want to see what y'all got, man. I want to see what kind of spooky shit y'all be thinking about on the daily.
Exactly. So, with all of that being said, let's get into this. I'm super excited about this. So today is episode 74, once again, and we will be covering the history of Halloween and haunted attractions, which, I love both.
Yeah, I know. I feel so bad because I feel like I haven't gotten a chance to go to enough.
Before we move on, we don't have a dose of the most this week. There just really wasn't much going on in the news. So we decided to substitute it with horror movie recommendations. What did we call it last year?
I don't know.
Last year, we covered a whole bunch of different subgenres of horror. And
Shitload of horror movies.
Yeah, and we gave out a whole bunch of awesome recommendations. So if you haven't tuned in to last year's spooky episodes, check them out. They're fun. They're a lot of fun, and they're just hilarious. But today, we're going to be recommending classic horror movies.
Ooh, this is gonna be fun. I don't think people talk about the classics enough. Although
the classic.
Although everyone borrows from them and they're inspirational, but I don't think people talk about them enough.
I agree. And along with our classic horror recommendations, we have a lovely spooky cocktail, y'all. We're bringing the spooky cocktails back. I don't know who didn't give you the memo, but look at this. Just admire the creativity and the beauty of these drinks. I'm really happy about these, and they taste delicious. So it's the Voodoo Vodka cocktail, which includes grape juice, vanilla liqueur, vanilla vodka, and grapes.
And a tiny touch of magic, but can't tell you what that is.
I'm just gonna break off Buddy's arm and get into this. So our first horror movie recommendation is Frankenstein.
Frankenstein is a fucking classic movie. I love the original one, and I love like some of the remakes, but the original one is where it's at.
Yeah, the original is the best one. And if you haven't heard of Frankenstein, even though I'm sure pretty much everybody has, it's just one of those ones where you just know, kind of like Dracula. This twisted classic follows the obsessed and crazed scientist Dr. Henry Frankenstein as he attempts to create life from assembling deceased body parts for his experiments. Frankenstein is successful in this attempt, his finished product being the animated monster Frankenstein. And you know, Frankenstein is where you get that classic line, "It's alive!"
Mm-hmm. So, question. All right, so I don't know if this has ever like come up in conversation with you and other people, but like I remember I was in like language arts back in high school, and the teacher was like, "Yeah, the monster's name wasn't Frankenstein; it was only the doctor." So,
yeah, I've heard that too, actually, but then what was his name?
Right, that's what I was like. Well, what did he call it?
Right, exactly. So to continue the story of the movie, Frankenstein escapes to the countryside and begins wreaking havoc on society. In the end, Henry Frankenstein must come face to face with his morbid creation, proving that man is the true monster.
Our next horror movie recommendation is one of my personal favorite classics, and it's Nosferatu. And for those of you that don't know, this is actually a German film, a German silent film. It was the unofficial adaptation of Bram Stoker's, who was the Irish author of the original Dracula. It was the unofficial adaptation of his 1897 gothic horror Dracula.
I love Dracula.
Dracula was even renamed Count Orlok in the film. So yeah, they didn't even call this guy Dracula. He was Count Orlok.
So he was like a knockoff Dracula, but still good.
In the fictional Wisborg, Thomas was sent to meet with Count Orlok in his Transylvanian castle. And Thomas is one of the main characters. He's like a realtor, a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm. Damn, what a predicament to be in.
Yeah. Orlok has been looking to buy a home near Thomas and his wife, Ellen. The crazy thing is, the townspeople of Wisborg are afraid to even mention Count Orlok, and Thomas and his wife will soon find out why. And this is because, have you ever heard the famous line, "I want to suck your blood"? You ever heard that?
Yeah.
This guy is the reason that line exists. Now we're going to get into the beginning of Halloween history. During the Great Depression, Americans' lives were affected in all aspects, including Halloween. Parents concerned about their kids running around on Halloween organized haunted houses and trails to keep the kids off the streets. All Hallows Eve was seen as a night to release and for young men to blow off steam, ranging from stealing neighbors' gates or stealing dead bodies.
Yeah, some boys, it was like 200 boys in, I forgot where, I think London. Anyways, they stole a body and put it on a railroad track to like scare a train conductor, I guess. Yeah. And I don't know if the train stopped or if it just rolled over the body. I don't know. And then also I've heard of like kids stealing heads, like of deceased bodies, and like placing them outside of buildings. So yeah, that's definitely way more scary than the shit we got, if that's the case. Just real shit? Nah. Y'all could have it.
Haunted and spooky attractions already had a name for themselves before the Great Depression in Europe. In the 1800s, Marie Tussaud's Wax Museum in London featured a chamber of horrors. The attraction had decapitated figures from the French Revolution.
Now, with it being figures, I don't know if it was actual bodies or just like mannequins dressed in French Rev attire. I don't know.
All the pictures of like those old pictures of people from like that time period or whatever they did.
Oh, where they used to take pictures while they were dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was weird. Where they would like pose them and dress them up and shit and do like family portraits with dead bodies. Yeah. So, most pictures, like, somebody in that photo is dead. You just can't tell because they dolled up and looking good. Hell, that's crazy. Being a bad bitch even after death. Love to see it. Love to be it. I'm just saying. But to continue on with the history of Halloween and haunted attractions, because it's kind of all intertwined, like they play into each other. In 1915, a British amusement ride manufacturer created an early haunted house. It had dim lighting, shaking floors, and demonic screams inside. That sounds lit.
It do sound lit. Crazy thing is, though, them screams are probably real to the motherfucker.
Probably, yeah. And it ain't nothing to dim a light. In the U.S., early haunted houses were typically small and were non-profit and ran by residential. In the U.S., early haunted houses were typically small and were non-profit and ran by residential neighborhoods. And I feel like that kind of, well, not now, but when I was younger, that was still a thing where, you know, if you go to certain neighborhoods, there will be houses where they have, like, just little haunted attractions in their front yard or their garage or their backyard. I don't know about going in somebody's garage, but, you know, if it's in the front yard and you got to go through it to get to the door, I'm with it.
You know, and that's the beauty of stuff like that, because like, I mean, yeah, I remember seeing stuff like that as a kid, but, like, I don't think nothing captures that better than when you see a movie and it has that type of element in it.
Yeah. Over time, larger organizations began hosting their own spooky attractions. And we all know what that means. Once capitalism creeps its way through the door, it's over. Like,
yeah, once capitalism creeps in the cracks and crevices of society, we are fucked. Because then it's monetized and it becomes regulated and it becomes less fun.
And it becomes expensive. So, speaking of organizations creating their own haunted attractions, the most famous and influential one being Disney's beloved ride, the Haunted Mansion, which was created in 1969. I've been to Disney a couple times, and it is a good ride. I would say it's better if you're younger, because it's kind of more scary. As an adult, that shit, I mean, it's not scary. But it's fun. It's still fun regardless. Disney, you know, it's the happiest place on earth.
So, fun fact. America is home to 1,200 professional haunted attractions.
That's quite a bit.
Each year, haunted houses grow more and more popular. Each attraction consistently works on increasing production value and creativity of their venue for every spooky season. Believe it or not, and this ain't Ripley, the idea of haunted attractions dates back to ancient times, done by Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans, which is expected. That makes sense.
The way the Egyptians did it was cool, though.
The Egyptian goal was to keep gravediggers at bay by creating mazes, moving walls, self-opening doors, and booby traps. Ooh.
Ain't that crazy? How were they able... I just want to know, like, what kind of mechanism, what kind of bullshit fuckery, like, what is going on? How are they able to create moving walls and self-opening doors?
A pulley system.
So what, you step on a certain brick and it, like, pulls a string?
Mm-hmm. This reminds me of a Scooby-Doo episode that I've seen plenty of times as a kid. They were, well, I don't even know, I can't even tell you the name of the episode, but either way, they went to Egypt, they were in the pyramids, they went in a tomb, they came across booby traps, mazes. These were not intended for entertainment, but they laid the foundation of future attractions to come after. The first ones to use scare tactics for entertainment were the Greeks and the Romans. Which makes sense, because they're assholes.
Damn. This is nice. This is fun. I like learning about the history of just random shit. And Halloween and haunted attractions is one of those random things.
Holiday history in itself is actually pretty interesting.
But now we're going to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Anchor, and we will see you soon. Have you heard about Anchor? It's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free and easy to use.
It has creation tools that allow for recording and editing straight from your phone or computer. This means you can view your listener count, upload vidcasts, and personalize your show, making it the best user experience around.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more, making it so you don't have to do it individually.
You can even monetize the podcast without minimum listenership.
Anchor has all the tools to make a podcast in one place, like adding files, sound effects, and audience messages.
So download Anchor today at anchor.fm, and that's anchor.fm, ANCHOR.fm.
So what are you doing? Start your own podcast now.
And we're back.
Like
A
a
spooky
spooky
butt
butt crack. And we are moving on over to the Dark Ages. Around the Dark Ages, Europe began turning away from Celtic and pagan religions, but still held on to some pagan traditions. During this time, pageant wagons traveled across Europe to perform biblical plays, particularly the scarier and thrilling Bible passages. So not like Adam and Eve.
So basically, they was with Revelations and all that.
Yeah, the quote-unquote scarier side of the Bible. Kind of things that would scare you into not committing sin. The Dark Ages also normalized the ritual practice of pumpkin carving, bobbing for apples, dressing in costumes, and even trick-or-treating, which I thought was pretty interesting. Amidst all the bullshit and the chaos and the fuckery, they were having fun.
Spooky fun.
Exactly. The best kind. And all of these things combined created the blueprint for the modern day Halloween that we all know and love.
So just like every other holiday, it's a pagan holiday.
Pretty much. Yeah. Over time, theater continued to evolve and society became more used to the art of scaring. And I thought this was really interesting because the fact that scare tactics is literally an art form, like it's something I never thought of before, but it makes a lot of sense in context, like just when you think about it. Mm-hmm. Scaring somebody and the creativity and the passion that goes behind it, it is an art form, and it's a pretty interesting and cool one, I would say, because it's kind of short-lived. Like, you scare someone, you have this moment, and then that's it.
It's cool.
But it's worth it every time.
It's cool because it's like, how do you find stuff like that out unless you do it?
Yeah, exactly. They just be trying shit. Playwrights like William Shakespeare depicted ghosts, demons, and monsters all throughout their plays. They would use animal parts to imitate the blood and the gore. And these just really became popular because the reality of, sitting down, watching a play, this social event, and seeing like the main character, the main protagonist or antagonist literally like just start bleeding and like gushing blood or whatever. They didn't have like fake blood. They didn't have like fake blood like we have today. So they would use animal blood as a substitute. But just to be able to see that like around that time, I'm sure was pretty cool. I mean, I'm sure it was exciting for sure.
I think, especially for people of that time, they took shit super literal. Hence, like the Salem witch trials, like a couple centuries or a couple decades afterwards. So it was probably a very interesting time, and with guys like William Shakespeare on the job, I'm sure it was a treat for sure.
Oh yeah.
So now we get into the rise of the 1800s and the 1900s. In the 1800s, fortune tellers, mediums, spiritualists, and conjurers of the dead became popular.
Very true. We kind of highlighted this last year when we talked about ectoplasm and other strange occurrences. Mm-hmm. That was a bop. That was a fun-ass episode. If you haven't tuned into it, check it out. We'll have it linked specifically in this episode. But yeah, ectoplasm and other strange occurrences. We did get into conjurers of the dead, spiritualists, mediums. Not necessarily fortune tellers, but they kind of are similar and they fall under the same umbrella of just work. So, yeah.
This was the beginning of supernatural professions being used as entertainment, which Stop doing that. Although it's very nice to see.
That reminds me of like Cops. You remember that TV? you remember that, bro? Comment below if you remember the TV show Cops. I think it was on A&E.
Man, I don't know. Yeah.
My dad was obsessed with that shit.
Okay, so no.
He put it on all day, every day, and I just remember vividly. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
No, it used to be on A&E, and before that, I think it was on True TV.
Oh yeah, but yeah, Cops was low key that show. That shit was low key fire. Cause you got to see what they did firsthand.
Get like a little ride along and shit.
Exactly. On your TV. Ain't even gotta leave the house. But, you know, kind of the same premise of professions being used as entertainment. Mm-hmm. Like, I wonder if that shit was real though. What's funny though is like the people that they would arrest, were they really like committing crime? Because if so, you just blasting these people and got camera crews all around. Imagine getting arrested and a whole camera crew. A whole camera crew busting through your house to catch you cooking up cocaine.
No,
selling rock.
Bruh, I vividly remember this one episode. They were looking for this guy. And they had went all around the neighborhood looking for Buddy. Whole time he was at his house under the mattress.
What the fuck? Did they find him?
Yeah, they got his ass, but he was under the motherfucking mattress. But back to this haunted stuff. The 1900s introduced the freak show, being the first formal type of haunted attraction to exist.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I love the idea of freak shows, but I don't know. I feel like they kind of fell off. Like, they're just not really a thing these days. Have you ever heard of the bearded lady?
Yeah.
That's a well-known one. I think it'd be cool to, like, do an episode on the bearded lady and other, like, quote-unquote freak show, attraction.
Attendees had the excitement of walking through an array of human deformities and strange happenings. Most of the sights and frights were fake, though.
Yeah, and that's where it's like, this shit's fun, but it's not real.
I will say, though, kudos to special effects creators, special effects artists, and, like, practical effects artists. You guys have really been doing a great job with that shit, and the fact that we can discern, like, whether something's real or fake is nice.
It's cool, but kind of scary.
Oh, super scary. Super scary.
Because what if something is real, but it's not given the attention that it should be because it's assumed to be fake, because fake looks so real these days.
Exactly. And it gets even worse with the advent of shit like deep fakes or like Photoshop and like, so you have a whole different like type of world when it comes
the technical side of it.
When it comes to effects now, because you can literally deep fake someone's face onto anything or like make them say or do anything. In the 80s, the horror movie genre generated a boost in popularity, and this led an increased interest in haunted houses and rides.
Which kind of just leads us into today's day and age where they're just continuing to evolve. New attractions are continuing to come out. I think what has become popular in like most recent years is like Universal Studios and like themed haunted houses where it's like themed after like Stranger Things. I know that's not like a haunted attraction type of deal, but where they have things based off of TV shows or movies that are popular, which I feel like that's pretty cool too. And you're getting like a specific niche of people like to the attraction. You know they're gonna love this shit. You know that they're gonna enjoy it because they're already fans of a franchise or a brand as is.
I think I can agree. I think it's pretty cool because it's like, okay, you know, like half of these people have probably imagined being in this world before. Right. So now, so now they actually get the chance to be in that world and you can make money from it. It's the best of both worlds.
That's a little bit about the history of Halloween and of haunted houses.
We can now get into our wind down, our kind words, and we can tell you how you can support this awesome show.
Yes. But before we do that, we just want to remind you guys, once again, enter the giveaway. We want to give you $31 for 31 spooky days of Harloween. So yeah, if you want to enter into the giveaway, win an extra $31, then subscribe to our YouTube channel at Deeper Than Most on YouTube and leave a comment under one of our videos. It doesn't matter which one, whatever makes your heart content. And then just send us the proof. Send us a screenshot, a picture, whatever.
Also, we are doing another Q&A, so send all your spooky questions. Send anything you have to us in our DMs. You can send it on our Instagram at Deeper Than Most PC. We're going to be posting polls. We're going to be posting different question prompts. So be on the lookout. Be ready for that. And like I said, we are going to get into our rundown. This time around, we have 4 of them. The first one reads, what is the best trick-or-treat candy to receive?
I say the best trick-or-treat candy to receive, for me personally, is Reese's. Like, growing up, that was just my shit. Like, give me the Reese's. That's all I want. I don't want anything else. What else would I need?
Definitely Reese's for sure. If it's not a Reese's, M&M's will definitely do because M&M's are my favorite candy, period. But Halloween, Reese's takes the cake.
Our second wind down is, does the history of Halloween change your outlook on it? I would say yes, but in a positive way. Like, it just makes me appreciate it a little bit more. And I would say it makes me a little bit more excited about Halloween. Even though I'm already excited about Halloween, I always am. But just that extra, like, layer of knowledge, it just do something. It hits different.
Yeah, no, I can agree. Honestly, growing up as a kid, I grew up in a Southern Baptist home, so it was one of them things where, not the evil, it's Halloween. But me personally, I never had any, qualms, towards the holiday. I thought it was cool, kids getting candy for dressing up cool and cute and shit. So, it's nice to have that extra knowledge, because you should always understand the origin of, shit that you celebrate or things that you practice, because it helps you, like you said, appreciate it more. But yeah. Wind down number 3. What is better, haunted attractions or Halloween parties?
I'm going to say haunted attractions because I've never been to a Halloween party. But I will say I know a Halloween party would be OP just because it's a party. So, there's that. And haunted attractions, they're short-lived. A party lasts a little longer.
Well, see, both of these things are super subjective. But if I had to pick between the two, I would say Halloween parties are better. Because not only do you get to see everybody dressed up in these cool, funky-ass costumes, y'all can get drunk and, have a great time. Come on.
Period. Wind down number 4. What is the standout fact about Halloween to you that you learned today?
I ain't learned shit. Nah.
Oh, shit. I would say for me, so for me, definitely the fact that they would use animal blood and body parts in plays back then.
For real though, I'd say the one thing that I learned about Halloween from this episode is that, I would have to agree. Literally, they would use real blood and real shit.
So what are your kind words for today?
Kind words for today? Stay spooky and spicy.
So my kind words are, teach yourself something this week.
We shouldn't have to keep telling y'all motherfuckers to learn something. Because if you ain't learning on your...
They be learning on the podcast as is. But that's a given.
That's for the motherfuckers that be watching. Because some of y'all niggas...
listeners too. Let's not hop on the listener now, because the listeners are really the ones that are pulling through, and they the real ride or dies. Because if you listening to the show with no visuals, no special effects, no extra this or that, you're a real one, because you're literally entertained and in tune with just our voices and what we have to say. And I really appreciate our listeners out there. You guys rock. You're amazing, and you pull through every time. And Deeper Than Most wouldn't be what it is without you. Viewers too.
So, I'm sure you're wondering how you can support this awesome show. If you're watching, if you're not subscribed, hi, welcome. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe, like button. Also, make sure you're commenting, sharing it with your friends, share it with your fucking neighbors. It's Halloween. Come on, we have some spooky topics. The last Spooktacular was amazing.
It's gonna get better too. These episodes this year, y'all ain't ready. We about to take you back in time. You gonna get real nostalgic with us. You're not ready for it. You're just not ready.
Make sure you're following us on Instagram at Deeper Than Most PC, and PC stands for podcast. You can follow us on our official Facebook group, which is too long to even say, so we'll just leave it up there. Also, make sure that you're checking us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave some ratings and reviews. Please give us those 5 stars. They really make a difference.
They do. Like, honestly. Our next giveaway, it's going to be involved in that. But check us out on TikTok, because we be lit on there every once in a while on the Clock app. Yeah, we're super excited to bring in the spooky season with you guys. Let us know what you're doing to just feel the vibes of fall and spooky season overall. We want to hear it. Like, what are some things that you like to do around this time of year?
With all that being said, though, this has been episode 74, which means you have 73 other episodes to check out, and that includes our short stuff bonuses.
Because we got hella.
I've been your host, DJ.
And I have been your host, Sav.
That's just next week on
Deeper Than Most.